Good with y'all, man? It's literally 2:14 in the morning right now. I was at the crib and I couldn't sleep, and I was like, damn, I forgot to film this Q&A, so we about to get straight into it. If you're not following my Instagram, make sure you go leave a follow and tag along for the journey. I've been posting consistently on Instagram trying to grow my personal brand, and it means everything to all the people who've been supporting me on there. I'm not gonna lie, y'all asked some really good questions, so I'm about to answer everything. All right, boom. The first question we got is, what steps did you take to find your manufacturing team? This is honestly a really good question because there's multiple different ways you can go about finding a manufacturer. You could either do in the US, you could do in-house, or you could do overseas. Me personally, I chose to go overseas. The way to do that is to find sources like Alibaba or independent suppliers that will make whatever product you're trying to source. I had to go through 4 manufacturers before I locked in my main supplier who does all my inventory today. So it's really just learning how to communicate and building that relationship with your manufacturer. That way you can lock in the best rates. And on top of that, you want to find somebody who can produce your product with the best quality. What's your process to keep consistent cash flow? This is honestly a really good question, especially for somebody who knows little to nothing about business. And the best way to keep consistent cash flow is by leveraging credit. Having good credit and building your business credit portfolio is absolutely essential when it comes to running a brand like mine. Anything ecom or anything with physical product and inventory, even if it's just drop shipping, you need to have a good amount of credit. That way you can just maximize on your potential for inventory, ad spend, everything like that. Because if you're constantly cash flowing and that money is coming out of your account, liquid cash, then you're gonna be limited on how much you can spend. So my biggest tip for keeping consistent cash flow, get you a business credit card, start building up your business credit so that way you can have high credit limits and just spend as much as possible to grow your brand. My boy Mari asked, if you had to restart your business, what are the 3 quickest ways to get your business back afloat? And this is a great question because there's a lot of people who build something up, they lose it all, and they're never able to come back from it. For me, I think over the past 2 years or so, I've developed enough skills to be able to build up a business from zero. And honestly, the 3 quickest ways that I would do it is find something that's currently trending in the market and capitalize off of it. Now, what I mean by this is taking something that's already been proven to work, twist it up a little bit, make it my own way, make it seem new again, and market it in a completely different way than anybody else has and start making those sales. Now, number 2, what I would do to start getting those sales, especially if I don't have enough capital to cover my expenses, I would do the pre-order method. Now, there's a lot of people out there who say don't do pre-orders, but there's definitely a way to do them and a way not to do them. I would do them the correct way so I can start raking in those sales. I would get my business line of credit up, especially like I was talking about in the last question. That way I could cover a lot of my expenses up front without having to come out of pocket. And third, if we're talking about doing this the quickest way, I would just instantly jump right into paid ads just to get more eyes and more traction towards my product and my brand instead of relying on an algorithm to go viral. That's exactly how I'd build my brand back up from zero in the 3 quickest ways. This one's good. So how do you motivate yourself when you're not feeling it? There's multiple times where I have to remind myself, especially when I'm not feeling it, like I'm exactly where I want to be in life and I didn't get here by not doing anything. When I'm not feeling it, I tend to look into the future and like just think like, man, if I don't work, if I don't do what needs to be done, then how am I going to achieve this lifestyle that I want in the future? How am I able to, buy this dream car, get this house, provide for my future family, my wife and kids? So it's just like, honestly, for me, the best way that I do it is just by looking into the future, bro, and just like reminding myself, you're not gonna get there by, not doing anything. And don't get me wrong, it's okay. Some days you don't feel it and you don't do anything. Like, we're all human, we need those days, but that's the main way I motivate myself. Sometimes I'll even go for a drive and, driving the Super makes me just go back in time to the point where that's all I could think about is going in and driving my Supra, and it motivates me again to work harder. So yeah, those are the 2 main ways that I motivate myself when I'm not feeling it. All right, this question says, will you drop any course to launch a brand? I would be the first to buy. A lot of people actually don't know this, but I do work with a handful of brand owners to help them scale their brand. I don't typically work with people who are first starting out just because it is more of an investment for them to work with me rather than a business owner who's already making sales. It's a lot easier for them to invest in their business. And especially if they have that groundwork already laid out, it's a lot easier for me and my team to come in and kind of, pick up the pieces of where they're lacking. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are out there and you are trying to start a business and you haven't made any sales yet, My team and I can definitely help you, but it would just look a lot different from what we're already doing. Hardest thing about content creation, in your opinion? Now, for me, content creation is something that I've always struggled with. It started out with a confidence thing and just being in front of the camera and having my camera out in public and literally just posting in general. I would always be like, what are people gonna think of this? Like, is this angle look right? And I'll just be super self-conscious about my videos. So that's something that thankfully I've been able to overcome. It still creeps in a little bit here and there. But outside of that is just me being a perfectionist. Like, I want every angle to look right, every shot to look right. I want every edit to be on beat. And if the video is not perfect, sometimes I won't upload it and it just kind of like sits in the archive. So that's probably been the hardest thing about content creation, in my personal opinion. And I know there's some of y'all out there who want to start posting content that deal with the exact same thing, but let me just tell you, like, the sooner you start posting and the more you just put yourself out there, the easier it becomes to just keep doing it over and over without second guessing anything. I really like that question. That was a good one. What took your brand from 5 figures to 6 or even higher? There honestly wasn't much that took my brand to that 6-figure mark. Like, y'all gotta hear me out on this, but hitting 100K in sales is honestly not that hard, especially if you have a winning product. The main thing that really got me there is just by having a winning product. The main way to figure out if you have a winning product is if it's trendy, if it's going viral, if it's blowing up, if your ads are performing well, and you just scale from there. My brand didn't hit 6 figures until December of 2023, so about like a year and a half of me starting. But it's definitely not as hard as you think. Would you ever do a collab with a smaller company? Honestly, no. I'm gonna just keep it real. I would not do a collab with a smaller company. I would definitely try to keep it even playing field so that way both parties benefit equally. But even then, I don't plan on doing any collabs. I haven't really been able to find anybody I could trust or any other brand owners that kind of fit within my niche to do a collab that makes sense. So we just keeping it solo dolo for now. All right, my boy William asks, how do you come up with your designs? I've always been curious. Now, there's really nothing new to this, especially for my brand owners out there, especially the ones that are successful. When it comes to designing a product for your brand, you never want to try to design something for yourself. You always want to look into the market, see what's trending, see what's already selling, and just do a spin-off and try to make something of it, right? A lot of people don't like to hear this because they want to reinvent the wheel. They want to create something that's brand new. They want to be a trendsetter. But let me tell you right now that you're automatically setting yourself back. The biggest mistake when it comes to designing is trying to invent something that's never been done before. This is my most recent drop, right? I'm gonna throw some pictures on the screen to show y'all how I got the inspiration behind this hat. And mind you, this hat sold out in 30 minutes. I did a whole entire vlog on it. But yeah, my design process is simply just looking at what's trending in the market, figuring out how I could tweak it, how I could change it, sometimes even make it better. And I just go from there. Let's see what else we got in here. What was your breakthrough move? Honestly, I love telling this story because this was at the time when I was working my job at FedEx. I was there for about 6 months and it was fourth quarter of 2023 and I had no plans, right? And mind you, my brand is still at that point where it's starting to get to, you know, that first 10K month. It's very, very early on. I still consider that first 10K month the early stages of my business. And at this time, I'm learning so much about ecom and I'm realizing like, fourth quarter is the biggest opportunity for any online business. You got Christmas, you got Black Friday, you got Halloween, you got New Year's coming up, like all these sales opportunities. So if you're not selling something, initially you're just hurting your business and you're missing out, right? So I was like, how can I capitalize off this and just take advantage of this opportunity of fourth quarter? And I had no inventory, I had no products. So I decided to run an insane pre-order. I think I dropped 8 hats at once. I only had samples made. I didn't have any of the samples in hand. So all my product pictures were photoshopped. And yeah, that's exactly how I had my first, I believe it was my first 20K month. And then following up after that, I did a 35K month in December. I documented the whole thing on my Instagram. But that's exactly how I had my first breakthrough moment, man. It honestly didn't feel real. I didn't run the pre-order correctly. I will keep it real with y'all. Like, there was definitely some holes in my structure for running the pre-order, but at the end of the day, customers got their orders were canceled, and I still walked away with, you know, over $110,000 in sales for that year of 2023, and it was just unreal to me. Damn, y'all, it's looking like we answered all the good ones. I'm not gonna lie, we kind of did a speed run on this. If y'all want to participate in another video like this, make sure to go follow my Instagram. If you made it all the way to the end and this far in the video, just know I appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man, and I'll see you on the next one. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, baby.